build. 20mm turrets. They're not that tough. They don't do that much damage either. But, compared to enemies we've faced so far, they have more armor, more health, and more damage. So against our level of group, they would be very, very deadly. Once you have the armor penetration to fully hurt them, they should not be too troublesome. I'm not sure how much action points and shots they have, but the damage just is sort of lackluster.
Hey, Woodson.
Welcome back to Ranger Citadel, recruits. Welcome back to Ranger Citadel, recruits. So you saved High Pool at the expense of Ag Center. A tough decision, and I know it must weigh heavily on your minds. But a choice had to be made, and once you chose High Pool, you did all you could to save it and its people. I'm particularly pleased that you helped Kate Preston become the new mayor over there. She's the kind of pragmatic, level-headed leader the old place needs. Also, let me personally thank you for finding Ace's killer, whatever it was. I'm sorry your initiation into the Rangers has been such a trial by fire, but you've proven yourself tough under pressure, and in my eyes, that makes you fit to be a Ranger. Welcome aboard. Now, any questions?
Thank you for letting us into the Citadel, sir.
It is your home now, recruits. A place to rest and resupply between missions. A place to learn and to share your knowledge with others. But it's more than that. Despite its tarnished history, the Citadel is a force for good, a shining beacon of justice in a dark land, a bulwark against barbarism in a world of lawlessness and brutality. Indeed, it is the furrowed field out of which the seeds of order will grow into a new and better civilization.
Yeah, thanks for the speech, sir.
Hey, forgive me. Get carried away sometimes, but I do believe we are making a difference despite my shortcomings, and that our flame must not be allowed to be snuffed out. That's why we need young, motivated recruits like yourselves.
Shortcomings, sir? Surely not.
I've been too cautious, recruits. Since we took this place over 15 years ago, I focused too much on keeping the peace in areas we know, and not enough on outside threats. I wanted to rebuild, get our numbers up, but all I've really been doing is letting the world pass us by. Well, that's gotta change, and the change starts with you. You are going to find out where this threat is coming from.
A place to learn, sir?
We have a library here, where we compile maps and information about the region to help us with our work. If you want to know about any old tech or ancient knowledge, go talk to old Flintlock there. If you've got map questions, see Gilbert. He's our cartographer.
Gilbert, sir?
Gilbert was another one of my squad. We called him Thrasher back in the day. A good man to have in a tight spot. Past his fighting days now, though. Took a wound during the Battle of Base Cochise and never fully recovered. Now, he's our cartographer and damn good at it. You'll find him in the museum with Flintlock.
Who is Flintlock, sir?
Flintlock was old when I was your age. Now he's ancient. Knows more about the history of the Desert Rangers than any man alive, and he'll tell you so himself.
Where can we resupply, sir?
You'll want to talk to our quartermaster, Sergeant Melson, about that. He'll provide you with all the weapons, armor, and gear you need to carry out your duties in the Wastelands. You may also want to talk to Ethel Mercaptain or TNT-10 if you need something special.
TNT-10, sir?
Our munitions expert. Crazy bastard is gonna blow us all up one day. Does good work, though. In the field, his ordnance is highly reliable. It's just his workshop that scares the bejesus out of me.
Any advice for us, sir, now that we're officially Rangers?
You are our next generation recruits, and I want you to make us proud. Remember that every action you take reflects directly upon the Desert Rangers as a whole. We've worked hard to gain the trust of the people of Arizona. and to have them accept our authority. Keep that in mind every time you draw your weapon or make a promise. The lives of other Rangers and the rule of law depend on your wisdom, honor, and forbearance.
You think it was more than a robot, sir? I think we've gone over these conversation topics already.
I don't know. Ace fought plenty of robots in his time, and they never gave him any trouble. So I'm wondering if this was something new, something worse. And if it is, we better find out. Listen, if you brought that thing back with you, or even just a part of it, show it to Mercaptain over in the armory, like I said. She might be able to ID it. And here, take this with you when you bring something to Mercaptain. It's a requisition form for some of Mercaptain's top-shelf gear. For finding Ace's killer, you deserve it.
Anything else you can tell me about Ace?
Ace and I went way back to well enough not.
Yeah,
Better now, Joe.
Ain't
gone
no
through
shit.
these
Place was
conversation topics.
crazy. Our old stomping. They call themselves the Red Skull. One of the brightest minds in the city. Woodson's that man right over there. My radio
Sergeant
wing
Mills.
man. Nelson's all right. A bit young, a bit rowdy, a bit gung-ho. But the Rangers need that now. We need new blood, like yourselves.
Yeah, I don't
Make
think
us
I missed
proud,
anything
recruits.
that I...
Hey, General. How's the leg?
Fine, Angie. Hope you're feeling better.
It comes and goes, Snake. You know.
Yeah, I do.
Wade Woodson. Sergeant Wade Woodson, one of the most technically minded members of the Rangers, is wearing a makeshift pair of glasses and is starting to gray at the temples.
Welcome, recruits. Nice to finally make your acquaintance. Good work saving the day and attaching the repeater units in High Pool. The General and I thank you. Now I'm guessing you're here to learn more about these mysterious broadcasts that you've been helping us with.
What do you think of General Vargas?
Well, I'm not going to say anything bad about the General when I'm sitting right next to him, am I?
You better not, Woodson. I'll take away your smokes ration.
See? But seriously, I think the General has been a wise and cautious leader these past 15 years. Some of the boys may think he keeps it a little too cautious, but they're not the ones who have to feel the calls when good men die. Since we started hearing these strange broadcasts, he decided that the quiet times are over, and his place is here, on the air, listening to the people of the wastes and sending his troops into battle.
What do you mean by quiet?
Well, we spent the 15 years since we defeated the base code chief's AI retrenching, rebuilding the Citadel, rebuilding our numbers, solidifying our position. It made us a stronger organization, I think. But we also have a smaller footprint now, and some of the places we used to patrol have kind of fallen off the map. Now, though, I think it's time to wake up. The world is changing. These crazy broadcasts, the Red Scorpions in the old prison, reports of trade routes to the east where we thought there was nothing but radiation. If the Rangers still want to be a force for good in the world, then we gotta start stepping out beyond our own backyard.
East of what?
We always thought the radiation east of the prison was just too strong, and that travel that way was impossible. But now the Scorpions are claiming they've established trade with a community beyond the radiation called Damanta, and also with a group calling themselves the Servants of Titan. We're not welcome in Scorpion territory, so we can't check the truth of all of this. But they do seem to be getting better weaponry from somewhere, so maybe it's legit.
Anything to say about the prison?
Our old home base. Not bad for what it was, but we've been outgrowing it for decades. When we cleared the previous owners out of this place, we saw an opportunity to make a move.
Cochise and Red Scorpions are a topic we've discussed before, so I'm not sure if I want to hear Woodson's take on things.
The Red Scorpion Militia. They took over the old prison when we moved out. Not really much more than a
it's the
raider
same
gang.
thing.
It was the Rangers' greatest enemy, though really all it was a malfunctioning machine. The mainframe of a pre-war military facility that somehow got it into its circuit board head that everybody in the world was its enemy. It started pumping out robots to defend itself. And if we hadn't stopped it, those robots could have killed everyone in Arizona.
Right.
We don't know where they're coming from, or who's making them. Hell, they could be old pre-war recordings for all we know. But we've been hearing them since the skies started to clear. And they've got a threatening sound to them, so we've been trying to learn more about them. Which is what we sent Ace out to do when that robot
How
murdered
the
him.
fuck could they be all pre-war recordings if they specifically mentioned the Desert Rangers? That makes no fucking sense.
Now you've already attached one of our repeater units to the radio tower at High Pool. But because you were unable to do the same at Ag Center, we're in a bit of a bind. See, we intended to make a Watson-Watt Adcock antenna array using those two towers. Our tower here, and the tower where Ace died. Linking those four would have allowed us to pinpoint the origin of the signal. Now, however, we're going to have to try to find the radio tower the General already mentioned to you in Damanta. If it even exists.
What do you know about Damanta?
I've been hearing the Red Scorpion's radio chatter about this place for more than a year now. They claim it's somewhere beyond the eastern radiation clouds. I hope they're right. The radio tower that Gilbert says is rumored to be there could be our only hope for tracking down those mysterious broadcasts.
Tell me about High Pool.
I'm so glad you were able to save High Pool. Its reservoir and treatment plant provides water for us and the other communities in the area.
What about Ag Center?
I'm very sorry you weren't able to save Ag Center. They were doing so much to develop hardier animal and plant stock that would survive out here in the wastes. It's a real blow to have lost them.
Okay, what is a repeater unit?
We use the repeater units to boost a weak radio signal out in the field and transmit the data back to the Citadel. And let me tell you, it was hell trying to find enough parts to make the ones we needed. Which is why I'm so glad you were able to find the ones Ace was carrying.
What do the skies have to do with all this?
Well, it's only a theory, but my guess is that the fallout that's been floating around up there in the ionosphere since the war has been muddying things up there, stopping long-range broadcasts from being reflected back to Earth. Now maybe the fallout is starting to decay, and the ionosphere is slowly returning to normal, allowing it to reflect radio waves like it used to back in the good old days. Or not. I only know what I read in salvage books.
Whatever caused it, we're definitely picking up more distant radio signals these days than we were able to even 3 months ago. Right, what's a Watson-Watt Adcock antenna array?
You sure you want to hear this? Most people's eyes glaze over when I start getting technical.
Lay it on me.
Really? Okay, you asked for it. So with the traditional Watson-Watt method of radio direction finding techniques, it is possible to find the direction from which a radio signal was transmitted using two Adcock antenna pairs to perform an amplitude comparison on the incoming signal. An Adcock antenna pair is a pair of antennas that take the vector difference of the received signal at each antenna so that there is only one output from the pair of antennas. Two of these pairs generate what can be referred to as north-south and east-west signals, which will then be passed to the receiver. In the receiver, the bearing angle can be computed by taking the arctangent of the radio of the north-south to east-west signal. Given any four antennas of a known distance from each other, this method can establish a very accurate directional vector on an incoming signal.
So we will be able to basically get a direction where it's coming from, more or less. But I'm not quite sure from this can we get the distance. Directional vector would be I don't see how the distance is included, but I don't understand the details either.
Satisfied?
Good enough. Thanks for the info, Woodson.
Alright. Good luck out there.
Hard to complain
You'll be
about
hearing
it,
from us.
I'm the one who asked.
Well, you saved High Pool from the wreckers, but I don't think they're gonna be
Can I
calling
talk
us
to these
anymore.
guys again? Do they
Vargas
have
is
something new to
complete.
say?
What a setup.
Back again, recruits? Alright. Good luck out
Welcome
there.
back. Still here,
You'll be hearing
Rick.
from
Make us proud, recruits.
Hiya, Chief.
This is a group locker, so everything extra we don't sort of want to hold on to but not carry around constantly, dump here. I'm not sure if we have anything like that. Maybe some of the trinket items that we might see a future use at some point, or maybe some of the unique items, although I don't see why I would hold on to these. The young sergeant has the build and hardy confidence of a born jock. His neck is bigger around than his head, and his biceps strain the sleeves of his tight t-shirt. Sheesh, they haven't even assigned you your bunks yet, and already the old man sent you off on a couple of do-or-die missions. Well, that's the way it goes in the Desert Rangers these days. I'm sorry to say, so we better get you kitted out ASAP. You ready to equip yourself, or do you have some questions first? Uh, Old man? Did I say that out loud? Don't tell Vargas I called him that. He'll hit me with his cane. You think Vargas is too old for his job? I wouldn't say that. General's a good man, but, well, he's not exactly a man of action anymore, is he? I mean, he kicked ass back in the days of Base Cochise and Finster, but nowadays it feels like we're all just sitting around on our asses most of the time, you know. Cochise? The greatest threat of the Rangers ever faced, or so the old Rangers say. Bunch of robots in an old military base. Doesn't sound like that big of a deal to me, but whatever. I just wish something big would happen now. I'm tired of hearing old war stories. I wanna live through some stories of my own. Who was Finster? Some kind of mutant master. Finster created all these mutants and tried to take over the world with them, or something. Anyway, Marcus and the other old guys kicked his ass and made the world safe for humanity again. At least that's how Flintlock tells it. How do you feel about the Rangers? Shining beacon of decency in a dark land, ain't that what the old man says? Well, we try. You can't be as honorable as the general says when you're out in the wasteland, though. Not if you wanna survive. The way I see it, you be as honorable as possible after you make sure the other guy's dead. What do you mean by do or die mission? Well, choosing between Hypol and Accenter wasn't exactly easy, was it? And following up on those radio signals already killed Captain Ace. Okay, that's cold, I know, but it pissed me off. How did one of our best men die on such a bullshit mission? And now Vargas is sending you to finish the job? Hey, I'm glad you found Ace's murderer, but it's not gonna stop there. He's gonna send you to find the same stupid signal. Did you hear he was killed by a robot? I hadn't. I'd heard you'd found something weird and we're bringing it to Mir, Captain, though. You don't think the signal is a threat? More like a waste of time if you ask me. We got bigger troubles right here in our own backyard. Why we gotta go chasing radio ghosts? What troubles? Well, the Red Scorpions who won. I'm afraid if we leave them to their own devices, they're gonna get too big to put down. Tell me about them. Biggest gang around right now, and they're getting more organized every day. I say we should be going after them and leaving these bullshit radio signals alone. You don't think the radio mission is important? I don't know why Vargas is so gung-ho to find this signal. It already killed Captain Ace, and it might kill you too for nothing as far as I can see. It's probably just some old pre-recorded message. There's probably no one there at all. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It could be treated like that if it wasn't specifically mentioned right at the start that it mentions Desert Rangers specifically. So how could a pre-recorded message like that basically mention relatively current events and organizations? You knew Ace well? Mace was one of the best. All of us Rangers looked up to him. Now he's dead. Murdered. And for what? So we could chase some radio signal that might or might not be a threat to us somewhere down the line? Sometimes I don't get the General's thinking at all. Is there anything we can help you with? I'm good. Well, actually, there's one thing now that I think about it. Now that us Rangers are getting active again, we're starting to use a lot more ammo, and I'm running low. To make more, I need as much brass, lead, and steel as I can get on my hands on. So if you acquire any broken weapon parts, especially the junk that's left over from modding your weapons, bring them back to me and I'll buy them at a premium. I like raw materials, but seeing as how the only metal we got is from our weekly level up deliveries, broken down parts of old weapons will work. Okay. Um, Questions. We can store our equipment. Yeah, we already found that. Tell me about Ranger Citadel. Otherwise known as the Ranger Clubhouse. This'll be your home away from home as long as you're a ranger. There are worse places to live, believe me. The food's good, the water's clean, and you're surrounded by your best pals. A bunch of badass desert rangers who've got your back no matter what. Who could ask for a better than that? Right. Show us what you've got. Sure. Have a look at what we've got while I get your requisition forms ready. Make sure you choose wisely. Won't last a day out in the waste without proper equipment and water. Um, Bulletproof shirt, goat hide armor, combat armor, steel plate armor, tactical vests. Tactical vests and combat armor are the best we can buy here. 500 both. Other is heavy armor, other is light. The light armor only has one less armor class though, at least at this point. I'd rather take weapons. I'm not sure if I want to buy the radiation suit. It's not a bad purchase, but it's certainly secondary to weaponry. Maracab. Yeah, this is the type of pistol the doctor in the Ag Center who attacked us had. He didn't have it when he died, though. It's not amazingly good. And he shot 4 times, so he probably had 12 action points. Right. And initiative probably around 20. Laser carbine. Laser pistol. Both are fine weapons. Other has massive amount more range though. Also does more damage to conductive and non-conductive armor. But only has burst fire. Pulse rifle. Okay, we are probably gonna go with pulse rifle. Has single shot and burst fire modes. Has basically a pistol range, but does significantly more damage. Okay, this is what we're gonna take if we're gonna buy energy weapon. We're either gonna buy an energy weapon and assault rifle or some kind of blade. Combat knife. 520. I'm sort of thinking the combat knife because our combat specialist is one of the most worthless persons we have, simply because she does not have a weapon, not a proper weapon. At least the others have gained minor upgrades. She has gained no upgrades, so she is absolutely caught up and worthless. M16, 635. Ooh, we're probably gonna go. This is a very good weapon. The damage is almost double that of the sniper rifle. Right, I'm not gonna. I might as well select junk though. 1,200, and this does not really include anything too important. Right, we can easily get more. I'm not gonna deal with this until we've handled that. Finding water is really a problem. More people die from thirst out in the wasteland from bullets, so you would be wise to top up your canteens every time before you head out. We've got plenty for you over in the mess hall. We're
Hey,
gonna get a
Chris.
lot of extra money
How it
from
goes?
junk parts, and we can sell the excrement too. I'll do the purchasing after I see how much cash I can get out of here.
Ah, the new recruits, back from High Pool.
Looking closer, you see that the woman isn't quite as youthful as she seems. There are a few grey hairs among the brown and a lot of lines around her eyes, but she sketches with the keen-eyed intensity of a younger woman.
A very tough decision, considering it was your first time out. I would have picked Ag Center personally, but I understand your decision. Water is essential to the growth of the wastes. General Vargas gave me the leg from the synthetic life form you discovered. It's truly remarkable, but unnerving. I've never seen robot tech this advanced. It'll take me some time to give it a full examination. Oh wait, I almost forgot. Did the General tell you? He was so pleased that you found Ace's killer that he authorized a requisition order for you. You were to have your pick of some of my more interesting creations.
You knew we were coming.
Every new recruit the General brings in gets around to visiting us eventually. The weapons and armor we make are what keep them alive, after all. Most are curious where they come from. I imagine you're no exception.
What kind of weapons do you have?
We service, repair, and reinvent every kind of weapon. From knives and handguns to rifles, even energy weapons, when we can get our hands on them. We don't do explosives, though. That's TNT Tan's department.
What kind of armor do you have?
We have everything from sturdy leather jackets to hand-forged plates, to the finest reconditioned pre-war combat armor we can find. You'll have to pay for the more expensive items. Research and repair doesn't come free, but we aren't out to make a profit, just to recoup our expenses. Go see Sergeant Melson for that. I've got some custom, interesting armor, but the General's orders are to save those for special loadouts only.
You make weapons here.
Well, that's a bit of a misnomer. We do make some of them, the really interesting ones. But mostly what we do here is refurbish scavenged weapons and armor. One thing we hope our Rangers will do is collect any broken down weapon parts, stray bits left over from modding, what have you, that they find as they patrol the wastes and bring them back here, to Melson, over in the Quartermaster's office. In exchange, he'll buy it off you at a great markup.
General Vargas.
Vargas is a man of vision and prudence. I know a lot of the Rangers think he's too cautious, but I can't agree. Slow and steady is the way to go. He's done an amazing job rebuilding the Rangers after our war with the robots from Base Cochise, and we're stronger than ever before. That doesn't mean, however, that we should now go charging off to fight everybody and their brother. We must expand gradually and fully assess all threats before taking action.
What threats do we face?
The others say that our biggest threat is the Red Scorpion militia, who have taken over the prison which used to be our headquarters. They've been getting more organized and settled, and the fear is, now that they've established themselves, they'll start expanding their borders. What I say is, this will make them easier to negotiate with. Nomadic raiders have nothing to lose. A clan with towns and farms to protect thinks twice about risking their destruction by going to war. I say our biggest threat is expanding too fast. Let's make sure the communities we patrol are fully protected before we go looking for more.
Makes sense to me. I mean, we had to sacrifice one community already because we couldn't send anyone there. Paste cheese. Anything new to add?
A pre-war research facility dedicated to the science of robotics. Its mainframe was malfunctioning and kept building more and more robots and sending them out to defend itself against imaginary enemies. The Rangers destroyed the computer and the robots and saved the world, which is, of course, a good thing, but
But
well, I wish I had been a ranger then. From all reports, the sophistication of the computer's AI was incredible, and its death was a great loss to science. I can't help thinking that, had I been there, I might have been able to find a way to shut it down without destroying it. What a tool for good it could have been.
interesting weapons. I'm interested.
Huh. The interesting ones are my department. I'm always trying to come up with new and better weapons and armor using bits and bobs we have lying around. Can't just give them away, though. Creating them takes a lot of our precious resources, so the General is pretty tight with the requisition orders.
How would I get a requisition order?
Well, the General keeps a tight grip on requisition orders. All of the officers in the Citadel have the power to give them out, but only if we think a particular weapon would be necessary for the successful completion of a mission, or if we're impressed by how a Ranger team completed a difficult assignment. I can hand over one piece of tech for each rec you earn, but just one. So make sure you think it over before you take the first shiny thing you see.
I'm not sure how this works. It is exactly how she says, but what I mean is the selection I think can change. However, I'm not sure if it's going to be basically changing every time you use a requisition and exit, or is it based on your level, or what changes it? We might be able to get something that's good for us now, but I don't think we could. Even if we had more requisition, I don't think we would have enough items to find anything interesting. I mean, if we can just spend a lot of cash to get the same thing, it's not worth spending a requisition on. What's Sergeant Melson like?
He knows his guns, I'll give him that. Though I wouldn't have him in my shop. He's not nearly focused enough.
What do you think of TNT Tan?
Nicest guy you could ever want to meet, but shall we say less than cautious? He's nearly blown himself up more than once. He likes creating experimental explosives just like I like working on experimental weapons and armor. Though I dare say my safety record is a trifle better than his.
Okay, what do you got?
Some very nice pieces. Let's see. The General allocated a requisition for you, for completing a thorough investigation of Captain Ace's death site.
Right. Worthless trinkets and shoe model ranger combat knife. I'm sort of thinking of buying a combat knife, and it's vastly superior to this. I guess this will have 70% chance to apply opened up, which I don't know what it is. I would guess it's some kind of damage over time bleeding effect, but considering the fights we've had, I don't see how that would be all that useful. And I'm sort of guessing what the effect would be. Yeah, I don't see anything even remotely worthwhile.
Thanks for visiting, recruits. Come by anytime. What can I do for you?
Can I sell something?
Some very nice pieces. Nothing new for you.
No one reacts to the synth part I salvaged. Banked up memory code removed from a deactivated synth. Someone might be able to salvage some information from it. Yeah, but no one wants it. I just sell it.
Thanks for visiting, recruits. Come by anytime. And go see Sergeant Melson if you're looking to shop.
Wait, why are you a shop? Gaunt man in his 30s hunches over a table, cleaning and oiling gun parts. He is smeared with oil and sweat and seems to be trembling slightly. Listen, I heard you talking to Mer Captain just now, and well, everything she's got is solid merchandise, but as you may have noticed, Milson's gonna make you pay through the nose for the good stuff. Well, I got a little toy collection of my own, and I'd be willing to let some of them go for a lot cheaper than she will. Interested? What kind of good stuff? All the big guns, energy weapons, rockets, sniper rifles, all top quality. I made them myself. Do you want some? And they won't jam up every other shot. I swear, they're just as good as the ones as Milson has, but at a fifth of the price. What do you say? Well, I am interested. Cool, but listen, you can't tell the boss, Mayor Captain. I'm doing this and she'll fire me, okay? Right, sure. Just show me the stuff. Great, here's what I got. High quality weapons. Well, relatively high quality weapons. At a fraction of the price. Yes, maybe about the third, 1/4. 95% chance to jam. 95% chance to jam. Jam. Yeah, these are all worthless. Come on, I'm trying to raise money for a family emergency. Why does your family need money? I'm trying to help out my sister. I can't tell you any more than that, but it's important. I promise, come on. Can't you do a guy a favor? Is your sister in trouble? Sorry, I'm not saying anything more about it. Will you help me out? Buy a gun or two? What you're saying doesn't make sense. Something pretty terrible must be going on for you to risk getting kicked out of the Rangers for it. You're right. Look, it's my sister. If you ain't interested in the guns, I've got to get a letter to her. It's important, but I can't leave the Citadel. I can't get the time off. Would you take this to her? She lives in Rail Nomad's camp. Her name is Katie, and tell her I'm sorry. We'll deliver the letter. Thank you. I owe you one. Here. What's so important about this letter? Never mind what's so important. It's private, between me and her. Will you take the letter? If the situation is anywhere near as desperate as you sound, you should just resign. Somebody's gotta come first. I'm not sure what I'm getting at with this, but at the same time, it's not like he's offering anything that's I want. I mean, all his weapons are terrible, and so far every dialogue options I could have taken has brought me good things. Fuck, you're right. I've been such a damn coward hiding in the Citadel. I'm eating well, drinking well, while Katie's out there struggling in Rail Nomads. Trying not to get caught by that RSM piece of shit. He thinks he fucking owns her. Echo, I gotta go. If you're in Rails anytime soon, stop by. So, Red Scorpion Militia piece of shit. And he's gone. You get experience out of it, so maybe it's a good thing.
You people really like your toys, huh?
Everyone likes their toys.
That should work. What can I do for you?
Am I going to tell about Robert Bowling? I'm not sure if there's any point. I mean, he's not exactly part of the Rangers anymore, I guess. Rather, he's not selling his weapons here anymore. So what's the point of ratting him out?
Thanks for visiting, recruits. Come by anytime.
Good to
And go
see
see Sergeant Nelson if you're looking to shop. Likewise, Captain Death.
A squat old guy with muscular arms, a bandana around his bald head, and a bloody Kiss the Cook apron around his spear barrel gut. He has an eye patch over his left eye and a voice like a garbage disposal. Right on, brothers. Better grab some of this grub before the rats get it. Just kidding. The rats don't last long around here. They go into the stew pot just like everything else. Now, what can I get ya? Do you have water for our canteens here? Elsa must have sent you. He always sends the new recruits to fill up on water. Well, it's right there in those coolers. Might be the last clean water you'll see until you get back here, so take plenty and drink it slow. So, your name is Hungry? Been living with that joke all my life, and it didn't get easier once they made me the cook. Could have been worse. I knew a guy once named Richard Stroker. What's Sergeant Melson like? That boy's a menace. Eats twice his share and never shuts up. Knows his stuff though. He'll steer you right as far as guns and gear goes. An older ranger wearing an immaculate uniform stands by one of the cafeteria tables. He salutes as you approach. I'm Corporal Even Hawko, one of the recruiters here in the Citadel. I always like to make sure you new kids are settling in. You're doing fine from all accounts. I'm also liaison for any volunteers who wish to help out the Rangers on a non-permanent basis, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Got a minute? Sure, go ahead. Great. So, from time to time while you're on patrol, you're gonna meet folks who want to help out. Most have their own reasons for volunteering. A grudge against somebody, an excuse to get out of town, whatever. Well, we welcome them all. Extra hands are always appreciated, but we try to limit the number of volunteers in one ranger team to 3. Any more than that, and it's hard to keep them in line. So, what happens when you've got more volunteers than spots to put them in? You send them to us, that's why. That's what. If you want a volunteer to be able to join you later, just tell them to come to the Citadel and we'll take care of them until you're ready. You'll find them here in the mess or around the Citadel. Enjoying our hospitality, got it? Oh, and as an added incentive, I'm authorized to offer you a bonus for every volunteer you recruit. The more you bring in, the higher the bonus you'll receive. What kind of bonuses are you offering? We provide 2 types. The first is a scrap entitlement, which you can use to purchase whatever you want. The second is an accelerated promotion merit, which allows you to rise more quickly into ranks. So money or cash. Yeah, money or experience. The rewards start pathetically small, but every new one increases it. So they get more useful the more you can bring in. The type of bonus you receive is up to you. I still wouldn't really rely on leveling up using this or anything. It's just a little extra. We found a possible recruit. Good work. What's their name? Can we get credit for letting Angela into our team? That's a good one, recruits. Captain Death's been here ever since I was a recruit myself. I'm not saying she's old or anything. I would never say that. She'd kill me. Okay. Slick. He was a raider, but we convinced him to join the raiders. Yeah, General Vargas told me all about that trio of fumbling idiots you sent us. Tell you what, I'll give you 1 bonus for the lot. What type of okay, I'll take the merit. Scrap is nice, but experience is much more welcome. Yeah, 26 to 37 XP. Fine choice. I'll add note the merit to in your promotion record. Vulture's Cry. He was in a little trouble at High Pool before we helped her out. The Rangers know all about being in a little trouble in High Pool. You'll fit in just fine. What type of... yeah, I'll take another merit one. It's about double the previous bonus this time. I'm not sure if it's going to get similar increments or if it's going to be doubling. We're pretty much halfway done
Smells like
with
a
this
sweat
place.
lodge in here.
Only authorized personnel are allowed in the brig. Sergeant Bell. And goodbye, apparently. A leather-topped Asian man with a welding mask leaped up to reveal a friendly, deeply lined face. He has scars and burn marks all over his arms, neck, and head. You also notice that he only has 2 fingers and a thumb on his left hand. Ah, there, all done. Now, what can I... Ah, it's the heroes of Highpool. Come to see where the magic happens, eh? Well, this is it. I'm TNT Tan, the man who makes all your problems disappear in a puff of smoke. And you're the kids the general is sending off to solve the mystery poor old Ace got Ace trying to find the answer to. You knew Ace? The latest casualty in Vargas's war on ghosts. Why a good man had to die chasing a few garbled radio signals, I don't know. Ace was one of our best, a veteran who knew the ways like the back of his hand. And some robot kills him? Yeah, good men die in the ways all the time, but his death wouldn't feel so pointless to me if he'd been fighting a real threat. Like what? The Red Scorpion militia, for one. Since we pulled in our borders and decided not to patrol anywhere east of Highpool anymore, those bad boys have been multiplying like roaches. Now they think they're the new Rangers, saying they're protecting the people of the eastern Arizona like we protect the people here. Well, I don't believe it for a second. And I'll tell you something else. I don't think they're gonna be content with just eastern Arizona for long. I think they want the whole enchilada. We're gonna get caught with our pants down. You know about Hypo? We get our water from them. Good folks, if a little mistrustful, but maybe now that you've saved their assets, they'll change. You don't think the signals are... You think the signals aren't important? I don't believe those are live broadcasts at all. I think it's all a bunch of pre-war loops that we're finally hearing because the air is getting clearer. Nothing lives beyond the radiation. How could it? Be radiation? You go far enough in any direction in the waste, you're gonna run into radiation. Hot enough to cook you. There's no way around it. We're walled in. The last survivors of the apocalypse. Which is why we gotta keep the peace. If everybody in Arizona killed everybody else, there'd be nobody left on Earth. We're all that's left. The last hope. You think there's anything to the radio mystery? Nah, seems like more of Vargas's craziness to me. He goes from sitting on his hands to chasing ghosts in one jump. Why are we all of a sudden hunting mysterious radio signals when we have a honest-to-God flesh-and-blood threats right here in the wastes? I just don't get it. Why do they call you the TNT? Well, because I'm the guy who makes the bombs, duh. But that ain't the only reason. If you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Right, magic? Yeah, I'm the Wizard of Boom. The Sorcerer of Shrapnel. If you need to put a little bang in your party, I'm the man to see. Now you can get the regular off-the-shelf stuff from Melson up in the quartermaster's office, but if you need something special, something that'll make a real impression out there, come see me. I can show you the fun stuff. So Vargas. Good man. Hero of Pace Cochise and Darwin's Village and all that. I just wish he was a man with a plan. Seems like we've been sitting here with our thumbs up our bungholes for a decade. I'm a man of action. I wanna get out there and do things. Put a few grenades where they'll do the most good, you know what I mean? I understand rebuilding and getting our numbers up, but we've done that. Sometimes I just wanna go up and shake the old man and tell him to stop relying on his defense. It's time to unleash the offense. Let everybody know we're here again. Like, boom. Darwin's village? What is that? The lair of some crazy android scientist, Irvin John Finster. He somehow decided mutants were better than humans and he started trying to kill us all off. Plagues, poisons, you name it. Well, Vargas and his crew killed him off the old-fashioned way, with lead, iron and shrapnel. Base cheese again. Yeah, it's the same shit. Is there anything we can help you with? There sure is. All the rangers know that I'm always looking for bomb-making supplies, particularly ammonium nitrate, and you find that shit in, well, shit. So if you come across any cow shit or even better, bat shit, or any fertilizer, bring that shit back to me and I'll trade you some good shit. Low, missile launcher, you name it. You got that shit? We got that shit. Yeah, shit yeah, let's have a look. Missile launchers. I think the RPG-7 is pretty much the best you can get. 25-meter range, 7-meter radius, does 500 points of damage, and probably has armor piercing value of 10. So it'll do the damage unless you have some kind of perk to evade explosion damage. It also costs 700 and is a single-use item. So yeah, we're not going to buy something like this at this point. The others are pretty much identical except the radius is smaller and the damage is smaller. Missile launchers weigh a ton, so you don't usually want to carry them around unless you have a plan for them. I'm just selling all the shit away. Didn't have too much. Good shit, brother, good shit. Keep it coming and I'll keep paying.
Any weapon where you can kill people without getting blood on your hands is a weapon of cowards.
No, it's a smart weapon. Ancient air traffic control computer. By the looks of it, it hasn't been powered up in 150 years. There's some helicopter remains there. Can't open this. Can't interact with it either. Right. There should be like maybe 3 rooms still left. And we'll do the equipment management. Try to get more money, try to buy better weapons. There's no getting around it. Despite the bathrobe and the slippers and the high-tech artificial leg, this guy is intimidating. Fat, yes, but there's a lot of muscle under all that padding, and he's 6 if he's an inch. Also, his fists are the size of canned hams. Yeah, I know. They're the new recruits, heroes of high pool, etc. Well, I don't do the tour. Flintlock does the tour. I just do maps. So unless you've got some questions about maps, talk to him, thanks. Where is Darwin's village? Darwin, not Darwin's. Darwin doesn't own it. Well, nobody does, since the radiation overwhelmed it, it's abandoned. I'll mark the spot it used to be on your map. Enjoy the hike. How do you feel about Vargas? That's General Vargas to you. A wild man back when we patrolled together. Now he's too cautious for his own good, or the Rangers. So, you're proud to be a Ranger. If the Rangers didn't exist, I would have joined some scavenger gang and been dead before I was 30. I may have lost a leg in my service here, but I have found my mind. I call that a bargain, the best I ever had. How do you mean too cautious? We lost a lot of men taking this place, and I understand him wanting to regroup and rebuild, but it's been 15 years. While we've been sitting here guarding our little patch, the weeds have been growing beyond our borders, and every year we let them go. They are going to be harder to cut back when the time comes. What are our borders? Look at this map. This is Ranger Citadel, our nearby stretches. Our territory stretches from Rail Nomads here in the north to Ag Center in the south and High Pool in the east. That's it. Everything outside that triangle has become terra incognita. Our influence is shrinking when it should be expanding. What do you know about Ag Center? Well, it was a research facility that tried to figure out ways to grow more and better crops in the wasteland. Now it's gone, thanks to you, and we'll probably all starve. What about High Pool? A reservoir and water treatment plant. Place is like a fortress, which is no surprise considering how valuable water is. We get our water from them in exchange for patrolling up there. Good thing you saved it. Rail nomads? A little town built up out of rail cars, always fighting amongst themselves, but they don't generally bother anybody else. A bit of a drug problem though. I wish they would end their conflict. Every time one of them gets the upper hand, I have to change my maps. What do you mean weeds? Raiders, militias, mutant animals, mad scientists, cults. We keep our own backyard clean, but beyond it, the wasteland is worse than it ever was. And there are places out there that haven't been updated on my map since we got here. What's so interesting about maps? Keeping accurate maps is an important part of a ranger's job. Knowing locations and distances to towns, oases, and resources keeps our communities alive. We also need to put new places on the map when we find them. Catalog who lives there and if they're a threat. Now if you'll excuse me, I'll be getting back to it. So we should keep an eye out for new places. We are always looking to expand our knowledge of the world. Write down all the places you visit on your travels, and when you come back to place, I'll reward you for any place we don't already have on our maps. The more the better. Oases are important. There aren't many places to find drinkable water out in the desert, so we try to keep the maps current, about which are pure and which have run dry. And no, I'm not giving you a map. Part of becoming a ranger is finding water for yourself. We had to do it in my day, you'll do it in yours. So what the fucking point is making the map if you're never gonna give the map to people? There's a tour. Every time Vargas brings new recruits to the Citadel, they always want us to show them around the museum. Well, I don't have time for it. You never pay it any attention anyway. Do you and Flintlock get along? His incessant chattering can be wearing, but I'm glad he's here. He acts as a shield for the idiots who would otherwise bother me. Where'd you get that cool artificial leg? If you ask about it again, I'll tear it off and beat you with it. Come on. What if one of us loses a limb? You're going to keep a fix like this to yourself? You're right. I'm being selfish. I got it from a woman named Dr. Kyle. Don't know where she came from, but she did excellent work. It's not for the squeamish though. The new leg is fine, works like a charm, but it's powered by fuel cells that's implanted in the chest. Kinda freaks me out, to be honest. What's freaky about it? It's like a little blue gem set into my breastbone. First few nights I had it, the glow. Yeah, the first few nights I had it, the glow kept me awake. It just feels unnatural. Yeah, goodbye, Sakara.
Hey now, Thrash.
History of Desert Rangers. Intelligence report. Well, that might actually be worth reading. An investigation into the occurrence of robots in the Las Vegas sewers by Ranger Ann Elk. This investigation was ordered by General Vargas to determine the source of the robots discovered in the sewers under Las Vegas and to calculate the likelihood of such a threat rising there again. Background: General Vargas and his fellow Rangers entered the sewers under Las Vegas, gaining access by following Baron Brigo's instructions to go through the Temple of the Servants of the Mushroom Clouds, using a sonic key to open the door to the sewers. Considering how difficult it was to get into the sewers, it was reasonable to expect to find the place abandoned. Instead, the Rangers encountered heavy resistance from several forms of robots. The place was crawling with them from wall to wall, as the general put it. But perhaps more striking than the sheer amount of synthetics was their unique, often puzzling nature. Semi-intelligent cyborgs wielding firearms were the most normal, but others were much stranger. From scouring the sewers for remains and interviewing the surviving Rangers and eyewitnesses, we've discerned numerous distinct types, names generally as used by the Rangers themselves. Clawman or Clawer, close combat cyborgs attacking with their bare hands. Centron, centaurs made of a meld of metal and flesh that were capable of galloping at high speeds. Cyclone, cybernetic wolves, recognizable by their wolf-like howls that then sustained decay into static hissing. Tronosaurus, a gigantic metallic reptile. Boa constrictor, a cybernetic giant snake. Note: as no remains of this creature could be found and the Rangers only encountered them in the darkness, their exact nature could not be ascertained. Tronodile, mechanical crocodiles. Query: what purpose could mechanical aquatic life forms have in the desert? Hazel, a nightmare of metal. Vaguely scorpion-like but really not like any creature we know, capable of shooting metal spines from its tail. Cybertrike, cybernetic melds of man-like forms and motorcycles, known for the roar of their engine. Hexborg, squat, six-armed cyborgs. Could use multiple weapons at the same time, surprisingly intelligent and adaptive. Query: if recovered and restored, could turn out to be quite handy? Scratch into the science fictional eyepiece is the word Proteus. Okay. An almost human head, only the wires sticking out of the neck let you know this was never a living man. That and the slightly rubbery look to the skin. Clean sever of the bottom of those wires make you think that the head was removed after the robot had shut down. It also makes you wonder if the electronics inside might be undamaged. Scratch into the science fictional eyepiece is the word Proteus. I wonder if that's important. I'll write it down. Maybe I could ask the others about it. I mean, there's an option to always just write something in these dialogue. Ancient and balding, with his ranger fatigues hanging baggy on his skinny frame, he wears his long grey hair pulled back in a tight ponytail, and his bifocals teeter on the tips of his nose. What a choice to have to make. Wish you'd saved Accenter instead. Nothing I like better than their rutabagas. Now I guess they're gone for good. Now what can old Plainluck do for you today? What's that? Okay. General Vargas. He's a good kid, Vargas. Helped us save the world from Finster and base cheese, says Robot Army. back in the old days, and he's been keeping us safe and strong ever since. Love him like my own son. Who was Prince Herb? Didn't you see his head in the museum? Crazy scientist type. Wanted to kill everybody and replace them with mutants. Started making plagues to wipe us all out. Thank God Vargas and Angie and Thrasher and Hellraiser put him down like the mad dog he was. So it's the word Proteus should still be somehow tied to the guy. The thing is, I don't know if it's actually useful, or is it some reference to the Wasteland 1 game. Never played Wasteland 1, but I'm assuming the old people group constantly being referenced is basically the group that plays through that game. Plays the base Cochise and the like. Back before the apocalypse, it was a military facility just like this one. Only Cochise was a robot research center. Then somehow, about 15 years back, its mainframe had some kind of glitch and it started thinking that humans were the enemy. Can you believe it? The damn thing started pooping out killer robots and setting them off to kill all and sundry. Well, the Rangers had to put a stop to that, didn't they? And so we did. Blew the damn place to Kingdom Come. Ain't seen our robots since. Did you call us children? Everybody's a kid to me. I'm older than dirt. And you're just back from your first patrol, ain't you? Well then, yes, I can call you what I want. Anything we can help you with? Well, as a matter of fact, I could use your help. The museum is always looking for interesting relics and artifacts from the past to add to our collection. Recovering that kind of stuff was the best thing the crazies who lived here before ever did. Trouble was, all they wanted was to hide it away. We want to show it to the people. Let them cogitate on it. Maybe figure out what some of it does. So listen, if you ever come upon anything interesting while you're on patrol, bring it on back and I'll trade you for what you found. And I won't give you no junk neither. I'll set you up with something good. Lake lamp. We found this amazing lamp. What do you think? Oh, wow. It is indescribably beautiful. I'll happily add that to our collection. Can I have it? What the fuck am I going to do with it? Take it. What did I get from this? Red Rider BB gun. Thank you, Rangers. You've certainly got an eye for the archaeologically interesting and fashionable. In fact, I think you deserve a little something extra for this find. How about I let you take the Red Rider rifle out on a loan? I've got a handful of BBs, but I'm not sure if you'll be able to find more. Just try to keep it clean and make sure to point it away from your face. We found Ace's Ranger Star. It deserves a spot in the museum. That's damn sad. But we're all truly fortunate you found it, children. I'll add it to the collection. It'll help remind us of the sacrifices the Desert Rangers sometimes have to make to keep the wasteland safe. Thank you, Rangers. How did you get the name Flintlock? The fellas all joke that I've been around so long that the standard issue for a ranger back in my day was a flintlock and a coonskin cap. And well, they ain't far wrong. I got old boots older than General Vargas's daddy. Right, can you give us the tour? Actually, I don't want it, but started already. Anything interesting? Strange one, lots of those little carts around, all completely worthless, but this one meant so much to a guy that he paid the rangers who brought it back to him in more gear than you could shake a stick at. Never found out what he wanted it for, but when he died we decided to retrieve it and preserve it. Bizarre how one little piece of plastic got us so much loot. That's the head of one of the Desert Ranger's greatest enemies, Irvin John Finster. He was one of them mad scientists who tried to make people into mutants or some such. Can't recall the details. All I know is he was so mad he turned himself into an android. Didn't help him when the Rangers caught up to him. Lost his head over it, in fact. Kinda spooky the way the eyes follow you around in a room, ain't it? There are a lot of fake blood staffs lying around, but this is the real one, I promise you. We took it off the corpse of the blood priest himself. Nobody knows exactly what its purpose is or what it does. The secrets of its origins are lost in the mist of time. That, and we lost the manual, right? I hope you're making good use of the Red Rider, since I gave it to you on a loan. Keep it safe. Isn't she a beauty? Top of the line and the heaviest hitter on her day. Non-operational now, I'm afraid. Can't find any replacement parts, but I still polish her muzzle every day. Okay, it's what is it? Some kind of cannon. Oh, that is a useful piece of plastic. It got us through the final doors in Sleeper Base 1. Well worth the hours of fighting it took to get it. Not much to look at, is it? But you would not believe what we found inside it. Always check the broken toasters, children. They're like slot machines. Sometimes you get nothing, sometimes jackpot. Yeah, that was it. That didn't really help, especially because I didn't have time to look at the actual items. Small square piece of plastic colored blue, orange and white. There are raised letters and numbered embossed on it. Most of the numbers have rubbed off, but you can just make out the letters H. Crusher Esquire. Now take a closer look. Is it a Visa card basically? This is the Proteus in the eyepiece thing. This case is filled with old-timey books, many of which show signs of considerable use. Some of the most bookmarked are Wretch Like Me by Stephen Hino, The Unabridged Elf Manual by Colin McBrush, and Macaria Carrion, Succubus Queen of Hell by Thom Briams. You also spot the actual useful Fix-It by Guy McVer hidden on the bottom shelf. Probably repair skill +1 if I'd have to take a guess. Toaster repair, okay. This book has tons of useful advice on fixing anything. The chapter on radio repair has been bookmarked. There's a chapter on toaster repair you find fascinating. Red Rider BB gun. It's a sniper rifle with 18-meter range, so it's basically worthless. Almost free to shoot though, 2 action points. Does no real damage. 100% to apply eye put out, so it's some kind of debuff you can use on the enemy. It's fairly cheap too. Take it. It uses an ammunition type BBs that I have never found in the wilderness. So I think the 200 shots we have here is basically all you're ever gonna get. Yeah, and it holds all the ammunition at the same time. It's fairly lightweight though. And I just need to shoot at someone. So then we'll see what it does. Old-timey books. History. Memories of... Oh, Intelligence Report Part 2. Another mystery of the Vegas sewers, why the cybergs all seem to be unique to that location. They clearly unmistakably originated in Base Cochise, but most differed from the more heavy-duty cyborgs that were found other places, such as the Slicer Dicers, the Scorpitron, and the Thrashing Crawler, Steel Reaver, and Silver Strangler. In general, the characteristics of the sewer cyborgs were thus. They were less capable in combat and or less functional overall. They utilized organic materials in their construction. They emulated extant life forms such as humans, crocodiles, and boa constrictors, even though many of those life forms are not native to the desert region and have not been seen since the war. For this investigation, we interviewed numerous Vegas citizens, including some vagrants who had moved into the now abandoned sewers, which were more easily accessible than previously assumed. An open manhole cover in an abandoned part of Vegas led directly to the sewers. Colonel Vargas's instructions were to include any theory, no matter how wild. So from combining our personal findings and observations in the sewers and eyewitnesses, reports from bystanders and rangers, we can offer the following possibilities. Invasion force. The most logical theory is that these robots were an invasion force prepping to take over Vegas, but if so, the sewers make an odd staging area, and they had taken no aggressive actions toward Vegas before the Rangers' arrival, other than dismantling Max. Martian invasion force. As told by our researchers by John Flatboots, one of the sewers' more colorful inhabitants, the cyborgs, were a preliminary invasion force and were not really cyborgs. Instead, they were actually Martian serpioids disguised as cyborgs. Researching the remains of cyborgs casts doubts on this theory. Dumping grounds. The strange and largely inferior nature of the sewer cyborgs could point to them being early prototypes developed by the base Cochise AI, with the sewers being used as a dumping ground for unsatisfactory experiments. Buffer force. It's entirely feasible based on the robot force's location that they were meant as an emergency buffer against threats from the east, such as the Desert Rangers or perhaps the mutants being spawned by Irving Finster. Programming Error 1. A partial decryption of the robot's programming revealed a command to "clean out all the shit in Vegas". The ambiguous wording of this command was possibly misinterpreted. Programming Error 2. All the robots entered through a single open manhole, but none exited through it. It is therefore possible that all the robots in the sewer can be traced back to faulty pathfinding and one missing manhole cover. Because of the limited resources of information available to us, we cannot discount any of these theories as a possibility, except perhaps the Martian invasion one. Our conclusions therefore are that C's invasion force, dumping grounds, and puffer force theories all have a roughly equal likelihood of being accurate, but we cannot discount the possibility of programming errors in the relatively primitive cyborgs leading to theories 5 and 6. This leaves the final conclusion of this investigation regrettably inconclusive. Right, I'm not sure how that's going to be useful, but a gnarled wooden staff with disturbing reddish tinge and a cross of dried gore at the business end. Just looking at it fills you with nameless dread. Right, what is this? Statue. Right, 1 skill point. This gun is so big and bulky it has to be mounted on tank threads. Looks like it could pack a wallet. A small placard at the ground reads Meson Cannon. While the cannon has been dead for years, its parts seem to be in working order. Someone with knowledge of machines and how to repair them might be able to get a little power flowing. We do have a repair guide, don't we? Hard, yeah, this is not gonna go well. Unless we have a perk. We don't have a perk. We could do it if we basically take the handyman. I don't want to risk it now. We will have to come back here later anyway at some point. A computer of some kind, gently illuminating the area in light. Wasteland snake, find water. I couldn't continually change my. Okay, I get it. How the fuck that works? Works in a little bit different manner than I thought. So don't correct the green things. Why the fuck am I playing this? I remember some of these shitty games at computer classes. You know, I used to be in high school, I guess, and I found studying to be more interesting than playing this shit. Right. Plastic card with a black stripe on one line and the words Sec Pass 7 written on the other. Has seen a lot of wear and tear. 0% chance with the toaster. I'll leave it at that. We'll come back to it later. Somehow the Rangers have managed to keep an intact M388 Davy Crockett tactical nuke in perfect shape for the last 150 years. Every part, wire and actuator looks to be in working order. Do you think the warhead is alive, too? Bright red button blinks silently on the control panel below the launching mechanism. Yeah, I'm not gonna press shiny red blinking buttons on a nuke. I've never tried pressing it though. You'd think that they would at least have a security measure in place, so I'm guessing it could be just a model, and it's sort of a joke to allow people to press it, see what happens. But at the same time, I don't know. Everything else here seems to be in the actual thing, so I think it's probably better not press them. We heal that one. Don't kill it. This man must be the ranger's doctor, judging by the tools he's carrying around. He walks around the room, tending to his patients, but frequently stops to catch his breath. You can see tattoos running along his neck and arms, though you can only catch a glimpse of the latter when he reaches up to cover his mouth during a coughing fit. New recruits. Heard need supplies or just snooping? Uh, Snooping, I guess. Well done. Stay out till you're sick. No looky-loos. Um, you're taking pills, Doc? What's it to you? Can a sick man take pills? What's wrong with you? Anything we can do to help? Not unless you've got a cure for lung cancer on you. Yeah. I'm not doing the coughing. Before the apocalypse, I could have had chemotherapy, the trial, healing crystals. Now all I can do is take pain pills and wait for the end. And the fucking pills aren't working anymore. Will you take pain pills if we find them? Hell yeah, anything and everything. I'll trade you double for any you find. What if we found a cure? What a comedian. There is no cure. Not for 150 goddamn years. Not unless you can find those crackpots who say that Finster found one before he died. Tell me about Finster again. Mad scientist live in a place called Darwin's Village. I was working on modifying humans for hostile environments, but there are rumors that he invented a lot of diseases and cures too. Bullshit, of course. And even if it wasn't, Darwin Village doesn't exist anymore. We already know the location of Darwin. Well, hot shit for you. Then go get me my damn cure. Are we hurt? Yeah, just heal us, Doc, just in case. Supplies. Stuffed miniature dog +1 leadership. I'm actually thinking 180 bucks. Holy shit. Crafted with love and care, this taxidermied dog commemorates 12 years on 4 legs. Stopped, he looks like a small proud soldier closing his eyes, looking slightly up. Right. But it's 180, so I have better uses for money, thanks. I think I'm just gonna sell my pain pills, see if we can get anything out of this. I'm not using pills, I'll use medics and surgeons to heal.
Thanks, Rangers. Needed that. If you find more, bring him over.
Right. We still got a few interesting things out of this. Right. It looks like we have inventory management left and that'll be it. Basically buying new gear, I guess. More or less, we need to handle the weapons. Strip them into parts. That's where the money is. Stitch, I think, can do that. Right. Every weapon that's not currently in use got brought to her. We might have to check the ammunition situation too. No one's using the Mississippi Mule, but it's a unique weapon, so I'm more inclined to store it than just scrap it. Pump action shotgun isn't terrible either, but I think if we get a shotgun guy at this point, we want something better than the starting shotgun weapon. I'd say pretty much everything we have currently is gonna be worth more as parts than as a whole. So we can pretty much get rid of everything. We only need one Akita figurine. I saw others, right? We can get rid of that. Monocle can go, it's a horrible thing. And there's another Akita statue, right? Do we want to increase our weaponsmithing before we do anything? It might make a difference. We certainly... we might as well. At least no one has anything better. Sturdy magazine, underbarrel flashlight or junk parts. Underbarrel flashlight, this is nice. Not every weapon has it, and we'll probably... yeah, we can put it in a lot of different places. Almost everyone has a use for it. Magazine, flashlight, junk parts. Flashlight. Someone's still missing one? This is a terrible... well, it's a terrible sniper rifle, we should try to get rid of it. No one's using pistols, magazines or junk parts. Junk parts. Heavy weapons only turn to junk parts because heavy weapons don't have any modifications. How about Mississippi Mule? Open choke or junk parts. It's not that great of a weapon, just... But someone gave it to us as a sort of a gift, so that's why I'm sort of hesitating on that. Chokes are worthless. I could use a sturdy magazine or two. I mean, the money is good, but we do want, actually, generally want those parts. We have enough flashlights, but we don't have any magazines. Yeah, that will prevent assault rifle type weapons to jamming from at all. Small scope, that should increase range. For 3-meter maximum range. So who is lacking range? Probably him. Shit, we're gonna buy new weapons. So we'll have to take some of these parts. I should not have attached these yet. Okay, this should be, yeah, good amount of experience gained there. Not a huge amount in total, but it's still gonna be worth something. And we have a significant amount of parts, so that's 1000 extra right from the parts alone. We also have some of the exploding fragments. Yeah, everything can go. Choke. No one's using shotguns, but I suppose I could hold on to that. Junk pants. I'll store the books, I don't want to sell them. I need to check the ammunition situation. Looking good. 2,800. I'm not really interested in armors, but if we have something extra left, we'll buy armors. We definitely could use a better sniper rifle. Scarlet has the starter rifle, but that's not important. Stitch needs a assault rifle. This is a generally good weapon. 635 bucks. Pulse rifle, yeah, I'll take it. I think I'll add the scope if I can to the pulse rifle. 12 meters isn't a lot, so even a 3-meter increase in range is a massive percentage increase. We could alternatively take the laser carbine. That's more range, but damn, it sucks. Do you want that knife? Still 1,000 left. We'll see, we'll see. Did I buy the sniper rifle? No. I can afford it. I think I'll buy it. It's better to have weapons than to basically try to save in the hopes of getting something.
Good choices, recruits, but you're not ready to head back out just yet. When you're done here, go to the mess hall and fill up your canteen. Okay,
Jesus Christ, canteens again.
Thanks for bringing in the weapon parts. They stopped keeping all these mooks in bullets, but this delivery will help a lot. Keep bringing me what you find and I'll keep paying extra.
Right. I'm not sure. I think Vulture's Cry should have the better sniper rifles in general, because she's the better sniper. We'll have Scarlet have the secondary weapons. Pulse rifle is superior to the herbicide in every way. Except range. But if we add the modification, then range too. Combat knife is vastly superior to the knife. We can drop the action point cost, so the damaging per action point will go up even more, and it has double the armor penetration, so massive increase there. I need to mess with things a little bit because I need to try to take out some of the modifications, and not every one of them is gonna go out with my skills, I think. No, 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 don't strip for parts. Can we remove? 25% chance of removing. I have extra tape, I think. I don't. Well, shit. We could bring weaponsmithing up. it should increase the percentages. But we could use the skills in a lot of other different places. And the parts we're seeing aren't exactly amazing, so it's not like we would be giving up on genuinely good stuff. We could say the parts too, I mean, like the knife, because if we can't get rid of the modification there, we might as well just stick in a container and then take it out later once we have the skills. %75% chance of success. I'll try it. Want range for your full sealer rifle? I think we can add a scope and an underbarrel thing. So the range doesn't mean much to a lot of weapons, but in this particular weapon it actually makes a bit of a difference. Why is taking a little bit of tape out of a knife so hard? That's something I don't get. Ace's range is not used that much, but I'll still keep the action point for cost reduction there. You have mechanical repair, right? We could just take the chance with this. It is what it is. I'm looking the need of extra ammunition, and I don't see it. Maybe a few sniper rifle ammunition, but that's it. Everything else we have in abundance. Chance of jamming can be removed from this weapon, so yeah. Anything else? We do have an extra underbarrel flashlight. No use for these. Another small scope. Excellent. I guess I'm gonna try to take this off. Was destroyed. And we got the tape. I'll take it. Yeah, drastic increase in damage per action point. Looking good. I wouldn't object to a light armor that has like 4 extra armor, especially Havoc could use heavier armor. But we can get a range increase, and I'm sort of thinking just adding it to the assault rifle. .23-meter range. Right. Be able to get a little bit of extra cash. Maybe buy some ammunition or a single good armor or something like that. 800. It would have to be the tactical vest. But after that we can't really buy much. a few ammunition for the sniper rifle. We don't need that many. And yeah, I think I'll buy a tactical vest. Could buy a radiation suit too. I think I'll buy that. We're basically broke after that, but we have a lot of good things on our team after that. So yeah, I think it's worth it. Now we're poor, generally poor. This is a group item, has to be equipped. Now we're protected against radiation level 1 and 2. Now we have proper armor in 2, and who exactly wants extra armor? Right, we are very in a poor position with this. I want people who have short range weaponry mainly to have the armor. That's why I don't give a shit about if the snipers have it or don't. Not they're not gonna take most of the ammunition or most of the shots. We can. Some of our characters are not in I would say, a good place, but basically Angela is the only one who's in that. I'm looking to get rid of her, so I don't care at all. I'm still storing the excess ammunition because I don't know who's gonna end up joining. I don't think I'm gonna get a shotgun user, but at the same time, if I get a good character that I sort of like, I'm not gonna give rat's ass if it's gonna be a shotgun user or not. I don't know what to do with the Lockwood page, I don't know what to do with the synth parts. No one seems to want any of that. Auto sorting. I'm not sure if we can call to get level ups here. Doesn't matter, we're getting the hell out of here. It's either prison or rail nomads for us, unless we just want to go explore in the wilderness. I mean, we have a radiation suit, so it wouldn't be too big of a deal.
Copy it. Congratulations.
Perk point for her. Not sure what she wants. Has tactical positioning, don't want scouting, don't want camel. Watchman maybe? Yeah, she's one of those that she was supposed to start developing something else. And I don't... brute force, was it? We're lacking brute force. I think that's probably it. Right, I might as well get started on that. It wasn't too big of a priority because Angela's still with us and she has a higher level, right? But we need to get rid of that. Do you have perks? But do you have enough points now? 6 points to get further level ups. Right, so either we could take hard ass up a notch. More sniper rifles. You have to have combat skills at around 5 or 6, I'd say, on all characters. At that point you can feel sort of comfortable with them. I would still recommend pushing them forward, but at that point you can ease up on them and get other skills up. What exactly can we do? Under pressure penalties reduced. Hardened, healthy, less damage from explosives. There are explosive users, but they're usually grenade throwers and the like. They're a vast minority of targets. Not sure if it's worth using a perk on something like that. I don't know. They all have their purposes. I might be sitting on the perks for a while. I mean, you don't get perks every level, and there are a lot of unlockable perks still waiting for us. So we'll see. I also need to probably check the sniper rifle perk lineup. Deadeye could be the thing we're really interested in on the weapon front. So it's going to require something else to unlock. -1 action point cost when firing sniper rifles if you haven't moved during your combat turn. It doesn't require other perks though. I guess we can wait. Now it's more of a question of what to do next. Really 3 choices. Go explore the Wasteland, go to the prison, go to Rail Nomad. Well, we do have Darwin Village too. But we're much more likely to go to one of these 2 places. We might want to visit the prison maybe, at least initially. Simply because we are sort of looking for a path to ease. But we have no idea how to get there. Someone in the prison area, you know. These seem to be related to if we want to go, or if we want to track down Ace's killer, or the snake squeezing salesman that was with Ace when he was killed. Darwin Village is something that basically currently we're using to maybe find a cancer cure. Is that it? So that's the... Yeah, I do want to go there, but I'm not sure if that's the priority.